Ted Cruz was on CNN over the weekend talking with Candy Crowley. And Candy Crowley, who we've criticized many times, she had an interesting take on the Steubenville rape case, which we had to talk about. But this is the second time that Candy Crowley has sort of innocently interrupted a Republican talking point with, I guess, just some basic truth. And she's asking Ted Cruz why, in the midst of this, and again, let's not call it an epidemic or a crisis. It is a crisis in West Africa, specifically in Liberia. Not a crisis here, not an epidemic here. Something to take care of, sure, as are many other public health problems here that we're not taking care of. That said, it is a worthwhile question to ask why we don't have a Surgeon General in place. And of course, the reason we don't have a Surgeon General in place is because Republicans have blocked President Obama's Surgeon General nominee for the simple reason that he acknowledged that guns are not good for human health. Ted Cruz is going to go running in that direction, and watch what Candy Crowley sort of sheepishly interjects with. Let's listen to that clip.
You know, one of the things that has been brought up, of course, and now this has now entered the political arena, and the Democrats are charging you all with making politics of it, and vice versa. So the fact of the matter is that one of the things that's brought up is we haven't had a Surgeon General who is the kind of the nation's leading public health official, at least the voice of it, for a year. Some Democrats and some Republicans had opposed the particular Surgeon General the president had nominated. Do you think it would have helped, A, if NIH and CDC had had a little more money, and B, had there been a Surgeon General in place to kind of calm what has become the fear of Ebola?
Look, of course we should have a Surgeon General in place, and we don't have one. Because President Obama, instead of nominating a health professional, he nominated someone who is an anti-gun activist, and that individual didn't have the votes in the Senate.
Pause it.
He is a doctor,
yes.
but where he's made his name.
Pause it. So that's the point. She goes, yeah, and a doctor, and the person who is qualified for this job that even you just acknowledged was important. You frigging disingenuous lunatic. And that really is, I don't even think we need to hear the rest of that. That really is the most interesting thing about Ted Cruz, is that he is so effortless. Like, his insanity and his lies are totally seamless. So it all works together. So that this absolutely ludicrous talking point that Dr. Vivek Murthy, I think his name is, was an anti-gun activist because he acknowledged the truism that guns obviously pose some danger to public health, all of a sudden invalidates his entire medical training and means that Republicans can block and throw up yet another perfectly legitimate, and I'm sure obviously totally moderate, well-credentialed, blah, blah, blah nominee. This guy didn't come out and say, as Surgeon General, my top priorities are banning guns, legalizing marijuana, and telling kids that if they use condoms, premarital sex is probably good for their immune systems, okay? Like, he didn't say anything like this. He's a moderate, technocratic doctor. And Republicans have cynically blocked him. But what's amazing about Ted Cruz is that, as I say, his cynicism and his insanity are completely seamless.